What's up, guys? New Apocalyptic Shadow. That means new best teams to use during it. If you're a bit confused on what to run, I'm here to help you out. Now, I don't want to say this one was pretty easy considering I have two of the newer DPSs. But it definitely felt like they went down a bit quicker than normal. At least maybe I'm just so used to like Demo C. I'll have to check how much HP these guys have, but they went down a bit quicker than I thought they would. I'm just so used to HP sponges nowadays that I feel like even though I have the new unit, if I ult them for a million damage, I look at their HP and it goes down by 5%, I'm like, wow. But this time they actually went down pretty quick. So let me know if you think that this Apocalypse Shadow was a bit easier than normal. Do you think it's harder? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to check that out after, I'm done recording everything. Probably after I sleep, actually. So I'm very interested to know how you guys got through this. But anyway, let's jump into it. So first things first, the most important thing to note is the buffs, right? The buffs are going to dictate what characters you're bringing and what characters you are going to be bringing for the other side as well, right? So the first one is going to have increased damage dealt by all allies based attack by 50%. After defeating enemy target advances the attacker's action by 10%. Then increase speed of all allies by 15% and reduce their damage taken by 15%. Then the last one is follow-up attack of characters ignores 50% of the enemy target's all type res. It can also reduce the toughness of targets that do not have the corresponding weakness, with the effect being equivalent to half, right? So characters that come to mind with this are going to be like Fei Zhao, Ratio, March, Mose, Topaz, Aglia for the speed buffs, Rappa for the basic attack buffs. I mean, Aglia can use both of these, right? It just depends on what you want. Then on the second side, we are going to see when using skill or ultimate on an ally target, increase the ability target's crit damage by 35%, lasts for 2 turns, and can stack up to 2 times, meaning you get a total of 70% crit damage. Then increases all allies break damage taken by 10%. After breaking enemy's weakness, increase the ally speed by 20% for 2 turns. And then last but not least, increase ally skill and ult damage by 50%. Tell me this is just the Herda buff without telling me this is just the Herda buff. Now that we know about the buffs, let's slide on over to the list here. So a few things first, I'm going to put a bunch of characters in good. The characters in good are overall just, like I said, good for the run. You can use them however you see fit. They're pretty much just going to be your sustained supports and whatsoever. So obviously Triby, great support. Harmony MC is gonna be good support. Ruan May, RMC, sorry, Ruan May, Linksha for sustaining. Sunday, Fugue, Woho, Aventurine, Robin, Jiao Q. Am I forgetting anybody? Where is my good friend Mr. Gallagher at? He's right here. Gallagher is another extremely good option. If I'm forgetting anybody, let me know. I will get back to. Do I want to put Fushuan in there? We'll get back to them. We'll get back to them, right? Anyway, these are the characters, pretty much your supports. That's just, I mean, we can really just rename this as supports / sustains, really. Like everybody's running the same supports. You probably have 1, 2, 3, or 4 of these characters built, and you just cycle through them. Some of them are free. Some of them have been around for a while. Some of them have had like 5 reruns. Looking at you, Robin. Regardless of that, those are your supports. Now, in terms of who is actually good for each side, Fei Zhao, Modes, and March are good for the first side because of the whole weakness, whatever, if you do follow-up attacks, right? Plus, with how adventuring works, you want to take out the dice that have a lower score than yours. So if you have a 10, you want to attack the ones that are lower than 10. That way you get their score. So let's say you attack the one that has a 7, you defeat the 7, now you have 17 points, you can attack the one that says 15 and go from there. So follow-up attacks that are single target are actually still pretty good against venturing, and then once you get a higher number than him and you can lower his toughness, you can just focus on him, break him, and then you're good to go. In Apocalyptic Shadow, once you break the enemy, you do a lot of damage, right? Now, for characters who are good against the TV dinosaur, whatever you want to call it, I would put Rappa here, but Rappa can actually work in both of them, right? Because it is AoE focused, so I feel like I just won't put anything there. I'll just put Rappa in here. Rappa would work just best here, but you can run her in the first one, so I will not rob her of her destiny, and I'll put her in both. Other characters that are going to be very good for both sides, including this one, right, are going to be characters like Jing Yun, Aglia, Firefly, Acheron, and Herta. Some of these are going to be a lot better than others, right? Aglia and Herta pretty much run the show for these ones because they're the more recent units. Characters like Firefly can struggle a bit more if you don't have their more premium teams or Eidolons in them, so do note that. I know not everyone's going to have Eidolons, but some people do go for Eidolons, so obviously if I'm saying, hey, Firefly is going to struggle a lot with this, so I'm going to put her in, she can work, but you might struggle a bit, but you have E2, you just disregard it. So I'll give Firefly some stack, put her in both. Obviously, if you have Fugue or don't have Fugue, it's going to affect their level of being able to clear it pretty easily, but I do think Firefly can still hack it. Now, in characters who can work, these are characters that I've seen people use on these bosses before, and I think you could get away with using them if needed. Herta is going to be a pretty good option just because there's so many AoE stuff, and she works as a energy buffer and a just erudition character for the Herta as well. Another good character is going to be Serval for pretty much the same reasons. She's not going to have a follow-up attack like Herta to take advantage of like the first buff if you bring follow-up for if you decide to bring that for whatever reason, or just follow-ups in general, but she serves basically the same purpose, and she can actually lower the toughness bars, which is pretty nice for Apocalyptic Shadow. Another good character that can go and can work is going to be good old Pela, just for defense lowering. Not too much else to talk about it there. I'm going to put Fushuan and Luocha here too, because while there are good sustains, like Luocha's going to keep you alive, he's not really doing too much else compared to all these other healers and sustains. And then Fushuan, it's kind of getting to the point where she can't really keep the team alive too consistently. At least mine can't, unfortunately. So I do want to put her in can work, because if yours is built really well and it works for you. But these other ones are just so much more like auto battle, close your eyes and you're living, than Fushuan is. And Luocha just doesn't have anything going for him, unfortunately. Obviously, if Luocha gets a buff, right, and it's like, oh, everybody in the healing field gets crit damage or attack percent, he's up here, bro. He got it, bro. He's still an excellent healer, and this goes to say as well, if you are using stuff like Kafka Dot, if you're using Sparkle, Topaz also can go up here. The only reason I don't have her up is because, well, actually no, she deserves to be up here. I'm spaced out on the whole follow-up attack buff stuff. She deserves to be up here. I know, Topaz fans, I apologize. I forgot to put her up. I forgot. My brain went to Moe's in March when I saw Imaginary and Lightning, so I just, put them there. My bad. I apologize. Topaz does work for the first one. But, like I said, not saying that you can't do it with Sparkle, Black Swan, Boot Hill, whoever you want to run, right? But they are going to have a little bit more of a rough time considering they don't have a buff catered towards them, or typings, or their single target, or however it may be. These are going to be the better teams to run. In terms of what teams, it's pretty much just Fei Zhao, follow up, right? And then, Rappa Super Break, Firefly Super Break. Aglia and Jingyan basically have the same team of just action, advance their summons, go crazy. Herta's going to have the Erudition team. You can run a pretty free-to-play team with that. And then Acheron's just going to have Jiaoqiu and go from there. Now, the teams I use for this, let me go ahead and add 2 tiers below. Actually, I can just cut back over to the actual game. So I will leave this on the screen for y'all. The teams I use for this are going to be, I use Herta. Actually, I use Herta on the bottom one. I use this team right here. Let me go ahead and make it real quick for you guys. Boom. And where is Robin? Robin. Boom. And then for this team, I used Herta, Serval, RMC, and my adventuring. This is what I use, and these are the buffs I used as well. So if you just want to copy what my team is, go ahead. Do note the only people with Lycon are Robin and Herta, and then adventuring is E1. So if you're getting having a bit of a rough time, that is why. Otherwise, everybody is 0, 0, S0. But other than that, hopefully this video helped you guys out with building your teams. Let me know if you struggled with this one, if you had a really easy time, all that good stuff. Like I said, I had a pretty good team because I had both pretty recent DPSs. In fact, they're actually the two most recent DPSs, so I said kind of most recent. It feels like so long ago that I summoned for Herda, you know, because the banners are like 20 days. I don't know, that's just me. But let me know what you guys think of this one, if it was hard, if it was easy. I'm gonna do a few more runs to get a bigger sense of the whole thing, you know. But anyways, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one.